Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen the highlights, you've heard the rumors, but now it's time to get the real scoop. We pull back the curtain on the world of sports entertainment and give you the unfiltered truth. From the biggest pay-per-views to the latest shocking headlines, you're locked in for the ultimate wrestling discussion. This is Between the Ropes, only on the Empty the Bench Network. Now, here's your host, Kristie Wilson.
Hey everybody, what is up? Happy Royal Rumble Day. Welcome to Between the Ropes. I'm your host. My name is Kristie Wilson, and of course, this is going to be a pretty packed show. I mean, considering the number of topics that I've gotten, boy, I feel like I have a lot to talk about, which I do, by the way. Yes. So as you can see on the ticker, go ahead. Follow all of us, follow all this stuff. If you want to follow Between the Ropes at BTR on social media. And of course, if you want ETB content, go to youtube.com/ETB network, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on stuff like Forever Power 5, Press Row. And of course, you got all the other stuff. We also got other great content like benchmarks. We got new episodes coming up on that. Empty the Bench Small Market Edition, another audio podcast. Callum McClurg released a new episode and that came out. So check everything out at, of course, youtube.com/ETB network. Now let's get to the big show that is going on right now. It is the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Women's match started off like I suspected it would. And I don't think it was that bad. I mean, there were some surprises, had some NXT stars come up, including, and I'm going to stand up. This is who arrived at number 6, Lola Vice. And yeah, she didn't last long, but I think she made a good impression. Sol Ruka, another NXT star, definitely made a hell of an impression. So definitely one of the MVPs of this match. I would say, if I had to be completely honest here, if I had to be 100% honest, I would say the MVP of the Royal Rumble match wasn't the winner, Liv Morgan. Yeah. I'll get to that, Callan, but yeah, I agree. Gunther should stop retiring people already. I totally agree with you on that one. But women's match, yeah, the MVP for me wasn't the winner, Liv Morgan, even though, she did deserve it. She'd come close, but she did win, and we know she's going to choose either Stephanie Vaquer or Jade Cargill. Likely person is Stephanie. But the MVP was none other than Lash Legend, who put in a heck of an effort. I mean, she was just a total ass rock star. I really think WWE sounds like they're really, really high on her. If you're really going to give her this incredible push that I feel like they're getting, and that's really something. So definitely, she is definitely an MVP. Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the world title. I mean, was there any doubt it was going to be Drew? I didn't doubt Sami was going to put up a fight. I didn't doubt that, and I don't think the crowd in Saudi Arabia did either. But Drew McIntyre wins. That's just how it is. Men's Royal Rumble match is going on right now. Who is the masked dude to attack Braun Breaker? Possibility, I say there's two suspects in this, and one is the most obvious one that I think people are talking about is Seth Rollins. which is possible. I mean, I heard some people were saying Finn Balor, but Finn has a hand tattoo. I think it's on his left. It's on his left hand. So I don't think it's not Finn Balor. Could it be Raw General Manager Adam Pearce, maybe? I know he is a former Ring of Honor wrestler. He has not wrestled in a very long time. Understandable. That's why he probably took the GM on-air authority figure in addition to his backstage work. I'm going to close this window because this light is blinding me from one side of my face. But yeah. And I'm going to get to the one match I know it had a lot of, people were crying, this heartbreak, that sort of thing, is Gunther versus AJ Styles. And it takes me back to Callan's comment right here, which is, can Gunther please stop retiring people already? Which I completely agree with. I did not want to see AJ Styles be retired by this guy, even though I do honestly think this is just how they're setting it up. They're wanting to give Breakker the boost of confidence, but I feel like it's not necessary. And I did want AJ Styles to at least stick around until WrestleMania, at least have one more title run before, his time in WWE is over. But I mean, I'll get to AJ later. I'll definitely get to AJ later. Of course, like I said, men's Royal Rumble match is going on right now as I am live right now. And Obafemi, of course, number 1, Braun Breaker, number 2, and basically, yep. I guess that didn't work out well for Braun Breaker, I guess. Nah, not in the slightest. Not in the absolute slightest. So there's all of that going on. But, since this is going on, and if I go, the show finishes before this match is over, I will most likely do a video kind of letting you know who the winner is. And you'll definitely see it. You'll most definitely see it. Now, let's get to another piece of news that came out. This was happening last week. Yeah, if you are a New Japan fan and you know about this guy, King of Darkness, Evil, is no longer with New Japan Pro Wrestling. The company announced he was departing and his contract has expired. Big questions is, what happens to the House of Torture and where does Evil go? We know Evil lost his never open weight title to Aaron Wolf at Wrestle Kingdom earlier this month. And, I'm hoping House of Evil continues on and they find a new leader, because I'm sure there are already plans for a new leader to be a part of this, to take over. And as for Evil himself, I have heard talk of WWE. I don't like that idea for him. AEW, I don't really know. TNA, I don't know with him. I don't know where he goes. I know WWE maybe, but do they really need someone, a new star, especially after they signed Powerhouse Hobbs to a contract? And they're bringing him in, and he was photographed with Triple H. I think Hobbs was backstage at the Rumble, which is still going on up to number 8 with Javon Evans. Mr. Betsy, the young OG, love the guy. I think he's definitely a superstar, in my personal opinion. So back to Evil. Like I said, House of Torture, I think, is going to be a brand new leader's going to step up for House of Torture. Evil is, probably going to head over here to the United States to see if he can cut it in promotions. Like, maybe, most likely scenario they're saying is WWE. Well, we'll see about that. We'll definitely see about that. I mentioned TNA when talking about Evil. Well, a piece of TNA news came up, and I was honestly surprised by this. Ash by Elegance, formerly Dana Brooke in WWE, former Knockouts champion, forced to relinquish that title due to, I think, is either injury or personal matters, health reasons probably, or something going on with her family. I don't honestly know. But she is back with TNA, signed a new contract, is medically cleared. The Elegance brand is super excited about that. So maybe Ash can go after the title that she will say she didn't lose. She didn't. She vacated it. So I would not say that she lost. Definitely not a loss on that one. So, and of course, another Royal Rumble update. What? Mr. Iguana. This guy definitely I know what am I doing? Ash by Elegance, who has been in the Women's Royal Rumble before when she was Dana Brooke, but yeah, she's back. She is back. Now, I'm going to get into another piece of news. Speaking of TNA, they usually work with NXT. This ended up happening. Yeah, Ava, real name Simone Johnson, who was the GM of NXT. Before that, she was part of a faction called the Schism with Joe Gacy, who's now with the Wyatt Six, as well as Zach Gibson and James Drake, who are in aka Grizzled Young Veterans, who were going by different ring names at the time. They're off doing their thing with Isla Dawn and AEW and Ring of Honor. She announced that she's leaving WWE after 6 years. Where, remember, she started off wrestling, didn't really get in the ring because of knee injuries, but went into the GM role. And I know she's not everyone's cup of tea. I know she's definitely not everybody's cup of tea. She is some people thought she was boring, that she couldn't cut it. I think, in all honesty, I think Ava did the best she could with the situation she was in. She couldn't go in the ring because of her knee injuries. Because, I mean, heck, if she tried anything, she could have tore her ACL again and definitely would not have wrestled again. So take the safer bet, take an on-screen GM authority figure role. And I think she did the absolute best she could with the situation that she was presented with. And I think she made the most of it. Am I sad she's leaving? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I liked her. I remember when she was in the Schism, she did a Q&A, and I asked her a question. I think it was who was the funniest member of that group. And I had to think there had to be someone in there who was funny, kept everyone on their toes, laughing and sort of. And she said, and like I said, he went by a different ring name at the time. She said, James Drake. And he responded to that. And I think I've still got the tweets saved on my personal Twitter. As you can see at the ticker, you can follow me at Writing Cat. So I had a positive interaction with her. Let's just bring this back. So like I said, I had a positive interaction with her, and I appreciated the fact that she had decided to answer my question, which, you know, if someone like her could take even just a second to respond to something, even if you just hit the heart button or directly answer it, you know, I appreciate that greatly. I really do. I really, really do. So we got speaking of a former NXT star, to me, he's an NXT legend. I know he's not in the Royal Rumble. I mean, some of you probably wish he was. You probably wish he was, but he's not. Sorry. I got some big news, and this had me geeking out. Yes. Remember when I mentioned Tommaso Ciampa filed trademarks for Psycho Killer and Psycho King? Well, this is why. Because his contract expired, he does not have the 60 to 90 day non-compete clause that a lot of wrestlers get, but that's because when the contract expires, you're free to go wherever you want. If you're released before your contract expires, you have to hold off. Well, Tommaso Ciampa, Wednesday on Dynamite. I was geeked out when I saw him. He debuted on AEW when Mark Briscoe put out an open challenge for his TNT title on Collision, which is happening tonight. With the Rumble going on, I'm sure a lot of you are going to be like wrestling fatigued here. You're going to be fatigued by that, but there is now officially a TNT title match. Mark Briscoe versus Tommaso Ciampa. And the funny thing is these two have history, because they used to compete against each other in Ring of Honor. And ironically, Ring of Honor's YouTube channel put some of their matches up on YouTube so you can check them out. So check it out. Get an idea what these two can do. There is clearly no doubt. I think Ciampa can still go. I don't think there was anything left for him in WWE that he could do. But he made the best of a situation. We know about the incredible rivalry he had with Johnny Gargano in NXT during the Black and Gold era. Ciampa is amongst NXT and WWE fans still held in high regard. I have someone who wants to come in. Hey, Tom. And he's gone. I thought he was in here. Sorry about that. But no, Ciampa is, to me, I'm excited for him, and I'm excited to see the kind of matches he can have in AEW. I know he never went up against Mox in WWE because he was in NXT in the during the Black and Gold era. But I think that would be cool. He can go up against Claudio Castagnoli. He can go up against Pac. He can go up against. I think Ciampa can hold his own against a lot of the much of the pretty much. Sorry, he can hold his own against a lot of the top talent in AEW. By the way, Royal Rumble update: Cody Rhodes at number 11. So, whoa, sorry. And then Trick Williams is coming in as well. So back to Ciampa. Definitely, I think there is like a plethora of incredible matches he can have. He's probably going to have. He's renewing his rivalry with Mark Briscoe. Will he walk out of Austin, Texas TNT champion? You know, I don't honestly know. But it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, but like I said, if you are wrestling fatigued, check Collision out on HBO Max. Check it out when you get a moment. Speaking of AEW, this came up and this really got my attention. That's right, AEW and Adult Swim are collaborating on a brand new animated show. Now, I'm not the biggest, if it's anime, I'm not the biggest anime fan. If it is, you know, that's fine. I mean, anime definitely appeals to a lot of people. You take a look at some of the anime shows that have been coming out, like the Devil May Cry series on Netflix, which is I think is anime and has everything. I am hoping, you know, you get a really good voice cast. I hope some of the AEW stars like Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Mox, Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander make guest appearances or voice original characters in the show. We'll see what happens. I am definitely super, super intrigued by this. I'm very intrigued by this. And I hope that one of the things I know, and Devil May Cry, I think, hit the jackpot on this one, is the music. It put in some good, like, really good rock music, like Afterlife by Evanescence is probably my favorite song from Devil May Cry. And they get some really good bands in there to really come up with some great songs that you can listen to either throughout the course of an episode or maybe play during the credits or something like that. I would love that, to be completely honest. And Adult Swim has done a really good job with a lot of their animated programming has been really, really good. So I am definitely excited here about all of this stuff. Definitely excited. Yeah, Royal Rumble update. Chad Gable and then El Grande Americano. It's there's a lot of El Grande Americanos in there. It's like the Spider-Man gif where they're pointing at each other. That's going to be funny. By the way, hello to the 100 people watching. Hi, everybody. I'm going to do a couple of segments in reverse order because something clearly is going on. I don't see this gentleman yet in the Rumble, and I can't believe it. Powerhouse Hobbs, or Royce Keys, his new name. He's in the Rumble. So I'm still doing updating. I've got my phone next to me because I'm doing this. But I'm going to do 2 segments. I usually do Wrestle of the Week first, and then Roast of Wrestlers usually last. I'm doing it in reverse order. All right, Fergal Devitt, Finn Balor. I know you're right now not in the Rumble right now. I don't really care because I'm gonna blow you the fuck up before you even so much as step in the ring in the Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Excuse me. You, sir, we know your accomplishments in terms of your career. I mean, heck, you started off in Ireland training. You helped start a wrestling school in the town of Bray in County Wicklow, where you're from. Some of your students, one in particular, Becky Lynch. By the way, Becky, stop fucking crashing out. The low-key legend Natty eliminated your ass. Get over it. Back to Mr. Balor. We know your story. And you become an NXT legend. You had one of the most fucking awesome alter ego characters that I think I personally have ever seen. I mean, excuse me. Totally wild. Really fucking cool. I'm telling you. Finn, you had the Demon King. It was fucking badass, crazy, but it was awesome. The fans loved you. 2-time NXT champion. Like I said, NXT legend. You had that. You go to the main roster and you make an immediate impact. win the Universal title at SummerSlam 2016, and then you injure your shoulder in your match against Seth Rollins, and you had to vacate the title 24 hours later, which was an absolute freaking bummer. Sure, you have sniffed opportunities for world titles in the years since, and you've become a Grand Slam champion, but there's so many things, you've let so many things happen. This is not the same guy that started the Bullet Club in New Japan. You are now part of a faction that I've said before needs to fucking die in the Judgment Day. I think you let, in particular, this fucking old fart, Vince McMahon, basically, you let him destroy kind of what makes you awesome and unique. You're all about too sweet. Harken back to the Bullet Club, which you started, and subject of Wrestler of the Week became a part of. You let that old fuck basically fuck you over so bad. Destroyed the Demon King. Basically, in a way, stripped you down of a lot of the things that make you super cool, super unique, super interesting. And you're like I said, you're now in a faction in the Judgment Day that needs to fucking die. Too many people in there. Too much. It's just too much. We saw Liv Morgan eliminate Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez on her way to winning the Rumble. So I'm thinking there's going to be discontent there, which there should be, because one thing, it's too crowded and there's too many fucking egos. Yours being one of the biggest, the other is Dominic Mysterio, who I have roasted before on this show. Finn, I used to like you. I really did. You had something interesting. You had potential star quality beyond anything. And because of all the bullshit happening with the death of the Demon King character, which is still badass, and you becoming part of the Judgment Day, and Judgment Day feels very boring, watered down. That's why I say they should die. You need to be doing your own thing. Like, don't be tag team champions with JD McDonough. He's not worth it. He's a bum. He's a moron. He's an idiot. Dominic Mysterio, fuck him. Everyone else, forget it. Finn, you're letting everything go completely out of control. And now you have a world championship opportunity again against CM Punk, who after you two faced off against each other, he showed you respect. He absolutely showed you respect. And how do you repay him? You listen to Liv Morgan, who, by the way, will eventually get roasted herself, and you attack Punk. Let's just face it. I get it. Sometimes you have to do something bad in order to get what you want. That wasn't the way to do it. That definitely was not the way to do it. So Finn Balor, the Judgment Day needs to die, and you need to majorly redeem yourself and bring back the fucking Demon King character. I don't care if you have to get into a certain mindset. I don't care if you have to spend 3 hours getting the face and body makeup on in order to get the character exactly how you want it to be. When you go out there and make that presentation, bring the Demon King back. Bring him back. And now that I roasted that guy, I'm going to take a look. Bronson Reed. Everyone's going, Bronson Reed's at number 16. Everyone's talking about, I'm still going to call him Powerhouse Hobbs because he's still Powerhouse Hobbs to me. I don't care if his name is Royce Keys. I don't give a fuck. This men's Royal Rumble looks like it's going absolutely nuts. Then another guy, La Parka. Remember, if this is still going on by the time I'm done with the show, and I'll probably do an update video to let you know who won it in case those of you who are not watching didn't see it. But the reason why I'm doing this segment last is he was part of the Rumble. And I'm going to go back to Callan's comment, which is, yeah, I wish going through would stop retiring people. But here's my wrestler of the week. It's AJ Styles. this man, we know his story. We know he made a name for himself in TNA. We know he became a further continues cementing his legendary status in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Comes to WWE in 2016, about 15 or so years before, 15 years later, because back in, I think it was 2001, 2003, something like that, WWE offered AJ Styles a developmental contract, but he said no. There were multiple reasons. One of them being his wife was in college and he wanted to support her. So going to WWE, it probably would not have worked out for him. He probably would have been a mid-card person or a jobber. Oh, and I think he wanted to develop his skills first before taking such a huge step in his career. So he did all that. He went to, like I said, went to TNA, made a name for himself. He's going to go into their Hall of Fame. New Japan, made himself a star, became part of the Bullet Club. And then 2016 debuts at, ironically, the Royal Rumble at number 3, because that Royal Rumble was the Rumble where Roman Reigns came in at number 1 and he had to survive 29 other people in order to retain his championship. He didn't, but AJ made an impression. He definitely made an impression on the WWE fans, especially those who'd never seen TNA and didn't know who he was. They realized, oh, this is why he calls himself phenomenal, because he is. He is phenomenal. I mean, and like he did with TNA New Japan, AJ Styles further cemented his legacy in WWE. He's won World Heavyweight titles. He's a Grand Slam champion. He's always, this guy just, he is honestly phenomenal. Probably a phenomenal wrestler, clearly. As a human being, he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. He came back to TNA at Slammiversary this past July after Leon Slater won the X Division title. I mean, if you were to say TNA X Division, AJ's name is synonymous with that division because he won that title, I think, a total of 6 times in his career in TNA. Like, he was the epitome, the cornerstone of that division where you didn't have to be a cruiserweight. You just had to have the skill set and just the toughness and the tenacity. And he has all of that in spades. He gave Leon Slater just total respect, and that's so appreciated. I think, would I have liked to have seen him beat Gunther at the Rumble? Yes. Because I always said this. I said this like in conversations I've had with people. And I feel like AJ should have at least one more title reign, regardless of what the title is, one more time before he left. And I felt like WrestleMania would have been in Vegas the perfect place for him to lay the gloves out in the middle of the ring and the boots and walk off into the sunset. But the fact that Gunther is the one who retired him and it's in Saudi Arabia, that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because I feel like he gave 10 years to WWE, and his fan base probably got bigger. I mean, sure, he had the big time fans from when he was in TNA, and then they followed him to New Japan, and he got more fans, and that fan base grew through New Japan and now WWE. I mean, AJ Styles, for all intents and purposes, is definitely should have GOAT status, greatest of all time status. He should be mentioned in the same breath as Cena, The Undertaker. I could go on and on, because I could sing this dude's praises. Yeah, there were moments like there was heel turns I didn't like, but he was one of those people. He did well as both a heel and a baby face. He did very well at both. Definitely showed that. I'm rambling, and I'm so sorry about this. I mean, there's a fact that he lost his Rumble match and is retired. It makes me sad. I know there were some tweets by certain individuals in AEW, like Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, who would love for AJ to be all elite. And that, as an AEW fan, I think that is friggin' awesome. I think that would be really cool. I'm sure Mikey Ruckus, the key music dude for AEW, who puts out killer AEW wrestling themes, his work is fantastic. It's way better than Def Rebel, I will say that. But I mean, Mikey Ruckus could come up with a killer song and a mix, kind of add an element. I could see AJ's theme music being like element of his old TNA theme, Get Ready to Fly, with a little bit of when he comes out in WWE and they go, they don't want none. They don't want none. Just kind of mix that all together, because I'm sure he would come up with something. I know in the debut episode of TNA on AMC, he gave Mike Santana advice, and AJ Styles looked at Frankie Kazarian, who was the champion at the time before Santana won. Does AJ have one more match in TNA against Kazarian, who I don't think he's faced in his career? I don't know. If any of you TNA fans know if they have, let me know in the comments. I decided to save this segment for last because of what's going on. So, AJ Styles, Alan Jones, thank you. Thank you. You are definitely the definition of phenomenal. So thank you. Oh, I thought I was going to cry there for a second. No, I just, oh God. That's pretty tough. But yeah, Royal Rumble, getting like Braun Breaker eliminated, Obafemi, Bronson Reed eliminated by LA Knight, and I mean, I hate LA Knight coming at 21. I'm surprised. I'm hoping he wins. Here's the thing, and we get back to the Rumble recap part of this. I'm hoping LA Knight wins the Rumble, because I feel like that dude has been screwed over so many times by creative booking and everything like that. I just feel that it is his time. It's just his time. And yeah, Brock Lesnar in at number 21. So, pardon me. This Rumble is definitely going to be something. So that is pretty much it. I'm going to thank everyone for watching. Of course, if you want to check out ETB stuff, go to youtube.com/ETB. Check out stuff like, we're going to have football forecast coming up this Friday as we're previewing the Super Bowl. And that's definitely going to be something that's going to be fun. Of course, follow the show on social media, on your social media platforms. And of course, stay tuned for everything coming up ETB. Like, if you love the audio podcast, check out Benchmarks, check out Empty the Bench Small Market Edition. Check out, like I said, all the shows I mentioned. Football forecast. You can also check out Press Row. You can check out Forever Power 5. Zan Zingers, you know what I mean. You check out all that good stuff. So that is it for me, and I will see you folks next week with a brand new episode of Between the Ropes on the ETB Network. See you later.